All right, I think we're live. Let me just double check. Had a little trouble there. Small technical difficulty. Give me just 1 second. I'm verifying that all is good. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay, if everything is good. Because it seems like we had a little trouble there. So let me know that we are all right and that we're doing okay. And doing all that while being in a trade. Let me just manage this real quick. All right. So we have the initial jobless claims come out. Slightly positive. Not a great reaction, very muted reaction of the market so far. So we'll see what happens. But let me know in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me correctly. Let me know if everything is good, because I had a little bit of a technical difficulty this morning. It seems like we were not live as I thought we were. So let me know if all is good in the chat. All right, seems like we are pulling back right now. Let's see. Give me 1 second. So we're going to find out if this was a break and retest and if it should flip short, because this was looking like a very good bear flag this morning on the Qs. Now we are close to all-time highs, and this can be a tricky area to trade in, because it could be us reaching that ceiling and completely blasting through, or it could be us literally reaching a ceiling and having to go back down. So we'll see what happens. Just taking a quick scout there, managing the risk tightly right before the open. So we'll see if this can develop or not. My bias is short, honestly, because we've been making, at least on the technical side, lower highs. And we had a decent pattern going on there, but the buyers have been aggressive. They have been maintaining the Qs, the Nasdaq, higher. So we'll see what happens. Quick question. Let me know in the chat. Can you hear me correctly? Is everything good? Let me know, let me know, let me know. Before we get into these markets, I just want to make sure that we're all good. And also remember to like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Just double check. Seems like we're all good. Chat being shy this morning. All right, I got GN Rhoda. Thank you. Thank you for saying everything is good. I appreciate it. Just want to make sure that we are good and rolling before we really start to get things going here. All right, so let me get this out of the way here, and then we'll put this on our analysis. We're going to look at everything today. I have a very interesting thing that I saw on gold that I want you guys to see as well. So we will see. Now, what we have today is a clear structure here on the Nasdaq. So let me put this on a 5-minute chart. We had a huge, very nice up move yesterday, and I'll go over the trades that I took yesterday. I'm managing this trade with very tight risk because I'm honestly short biased so far. This might just be one of those break and retest type of trades. So let's see if we can blast through and I'm wrong, or if this will reverse back down to the downside. So the structure right now that we have is we've formed a high around those 26,400s, and we've had equal lows there, formed a lower high, and then pushed lower. Now this was an area of liquidity, and if we look at here, this was the high that formed during the start of the Asian session that acted as support. So this might have been the line in the sand where we are going to continue to push higher. Now, what I want to make sure is, okay, are we in fact able to push higher on a longer time frame, or was this just, a break and retest setup where we're going to just wick up in this liquidity zone and push back lower? So that's what I'm trying to find out here with the trade. Of course, we saw some volume come in as this was pushing up. This candle has engulfed the three previous ones. So far, the longs are holding, but things could change on a dime. So let us see what happens here. We're just gonna hold, and let me just adjust this for commissions. And if we're unable to push up, then I think the bearish thesis could be validated. So let's just give this a few minutes. I want this to develop and push away before the open. If this is too close for my entry, as we get closer to 9:30, then I will have to exit the trade and wait for at least the first 15 minutes to develop and take another trade. So let's see what this this trade gives us. But I do want to show you what I have seen on the gold asset. All right, so we're gonna look at gold really quick, and then we'll come back to the Nasdaq and look at the ES and look at everything. Gina Rhoda, let me know where you're watching us from. What are you trading today? And if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so this is doing this is kind of the break and retest type of setup that I like to see. That's why, okay, I might have to adjust my bias. So we had the consolidation happen here. All right, I'm gonna invert this, and we're gonna hold and see if we can get the short that we've been looking for, because this looks like a good short setup for me. Let's see if we can get it. First target would be around these lows, because that would be a retest of this structure here, and then we'll probably continue to the downside. So let's see what we get. And on the second candle here, I might add, because this would be a very, very good setup if this works. So let's see if we can add. All right, Naroda looking from the UK. All right, so we're gonna add one contract here, and let's hold to see what happens. So risking off of these highs and these highs, and we'll adjust as needed. First take profit will be around this area for about 50 points, and then the rest we will let it run. Of course, that is if this is not if this doesn't hold, of course. So let's let this trade develop, and let's go to the gold chart to look at what I was seeing. So if we go to gold, I saw something very, very, very interesting. So if you take, so this is the gold chart, right? For all my gold traders out there, we had, the huge run from, what was it? The beginning of the year all the way to all-time highs. We cracked those 5,000 levels, got all the way to 5,658, which was massive, right? Then, of course, we had this kind of blow off top here, reconquered. We had the drop when the war started, a little bit of consolidation, and then another drop. This low corresponded with this previous pocket here back in October 2025. So, looking all fine and dandy, and we recovered. Now, we're gunning for this $5,000 level, which for me might be the other the other inflection area where we might revert from. But let me show you something I saw this morning while looking at the chart. If you take, let me get it out of the way so I can show you. If you take a trend line from this wick, and I don't do this often, but I was just looking at how interesting it was, from this wick to this wick, right? And then you copy that trend line, you keep the same angle, everything, and then you just drag it down to the previous wicks. Look at how cleanly they match up. This previous wick ends there, and this previous wick ends there. So what does this show me? This shows me that we might be in a parallel downtrend. So we might just be doing something like this, right? Sorry. We might just be doing something like this, where we might take a while before continuing to the upside. So this is what I would say the bearish scenario would be, right? We would go and go retest the lower end of this level. And if we're really bearish, possibly the higher end of this compression that we had here from about April 2025 to August 2025 before we really took off. I think this is interesting. This is a very interesting observation, and it kind of corresponds with the theory I had that the retest might be right around here, around this 5,000 to 5,100 level, which would correspond to this inflection. So of course, this is purely on a technical basis, you know, purely technical speculation. But I think it was a curious observation for anyone who's trading gold right now. You know, short term, I'm bullish, and I think we want to see what the reaction is going to be around this 5,000 to 5,100 level. Of course, let me get this back in. Of course, if we get to this area and we're able to pull back, hold above, go retest these highs, continue, hold above, go retest these highs, and continue to hold above, of course, we might just blast through and go through all-time highs. And that would be very, very good for all the gold holders out there and all the believers of this safe haven asset. If that happens, well, that's awesome. But just keep in mind, this is the critical area here around this $5,000, $5,100 level. Of course, that is if you're holding long term. If you're doing swing trades, you need to be concerned, at least, well, maybe not concerned, but at least observing this level. Right now, I'm not on a 5-minute chart. This is actually a daily chart of gold. So this is a longer term chart. If I come down to a 15 or 5-minute chart, you know, this is a much different picture here. But I wanted to, you know, just show you that these are levels you need to watch for. Now, yesterday we were trading this together. Some people were asking questions on gold. So yesterday we were in this area here, and I told you guys, watch out for this area where we had previously consolidated. And well, that's where we pulled back from. We retested it once, retested it twice. So we want to see what happens there. Are we going to retest it a third time and break out of there? If we do break out of there, well, the next area to watch becomes this previous consolidation area there, which is about 4,800. So if you're trading CFDs, these numbers might differ a little bit because this is a futures. So right now, the first area is about 4,853. So let's say 4,850. And then the next area to watch for is 4,870. So roughly, you know, 25 points above. Let's go check on our trade again. All right, so the short is not working yet. So what we're gonna do, since we're about 10 minutes from the open, is manage our stop. I'm gonna put the stop much tighter. Or maybe, like I said, I'm probably gonna exit this trade because it's not behaving the way I want it to behave. I have a 1 minute chart on the left, a 5 minute on the right, and then we'll bounce around for different time frames. But so far, the shorts have not been winning. Let's give this a little bit more time to see what happens. But this was a nice, break, retest, and I was looking for the follow through. But we are above. All right, we're just gonna exit this for now because it's not behaving the way I want it to behave, at least on the short side for now. So maybe we need to go and retest this. And if we are, so let me zoom in. So the idea was what? The idea was we are in this compression area, price is compressing here. And if we are truly bearish, we would go retest the lows of this trend line here, and then continue and go form lower lows. But if we're unable to do that and we continue to climb, well, that means we are continuing this bullish trend. And we're definitely going to go and retest those highs. Now, we will give this time to build and kind of reveal its hand. So we'll wait for the first about 10-15 minutes of the open to go by and decide what we want to do with these trades. GN Rhoda, let me know what you're trading. What are you looking to trade today? All right. Now let's rotate and go look at the other assets. We have the ES to look at. So let's just go on the ES really quick. So ES right here, let's go on a daily level. We have reached this very coveted $7,000+ level. We broke through 7,000, which is where the few days ago I was talking, okay, we need to watch out because we're getting into that resistance area. We broke through decisively, and now we have definitely reached all-time highs. So here, what do you want to watch out for? Well, let's zoom out and go on a weekly chart and look at what we talked about. So for the past 3 weeks, you could see we have been printing green, steady, heavy green, even stronger than that pullback and V-shaped recovery we had. This was the tariff low back in April 2025, and then we pushed higher. But you see how we had 1 week of pushing and one other week of pulling back, and then 1-2 weeks of pushing higher, and then we did a small pullback here and continued for what was it? Without any significant pullbacks, we continued pushing for at least 15 bars. So that's 15 weeks. 15 weeks is a significant amount of time. So we want to see, are we going to be able to do that here or not? Or are we reaching a point in time where like here, or maybe like here, we will get somewhat of a pullback? So we want to see. We are definitely at all-time highs. I know a lot of people are probably getting FOMO here. So a lot of people are going to dive into here. So if we are seeing too much bullishness, we might definitely see a pullback. Now, the advantage we have since we're day trading is we can be nimble, we can be fast, and enter in and out quick. General is saying he's trading Nasdaq. All right, nice. We're gonna look at the Nasdaq. That's what I'm trading today as well. We'll decide whether we trade the ES or the Nasdaq after the open. But right now we are testing all-time highs. So a few scenarios we need to keep in mind. If we're bullish, we can continue. And if we look at this uptrending channel that I have, we retested the middle of the channel. And right now we are gunning towards those $7,200 levels. Now, keeping in mind, the ES is not necessarily going to move 200 points in a day. But if we're thinking 50 to 100 points, from here where we are, we could go retest these previous highs there. Maybe the 150s. And if we're really bullish, well, we'll push higher. So we'll see. Let's jump to the Nasdaq. The structure looks very similar on the Nasdaq. We haven't quite reached those 26,800 highs, but this is not too far away from the NQ. and this would be about 440 points. So totally possible for the Nasdaq to move 400 points in a day. You know, we have seen 1,000-point days, so why not a 400-point day or 400-point plus today, where we could just take these higher highs. Now, if we are undecided and if we have shorts competing with longs today, let me just drop down to maybe an hourly chart. If we have both of them competing today, we might get a lot of sideways action. But if we are unable to find that thrust and that power, well, we are looking for much lower targets. And that's kind of what I was looking for this morning when I saw the weakness. Well, actually, we're seeing weakness still. So I think my short is still valid. So we're going to scale in again into the short and see if we can get a move to the downside here. Let's see, we're getting some volume. This means the crowd is coming back in. This might be longs piling back in, buying that previous low. But as of yet, I am still short bias, at least for the open, for us to catch that lower end liquidity. If we can get that, great. If we can't, well, we will wait and reevaluate. I'm keeping my stops tight because this could go very fast. So we'll see what we get. Let me just check something here. All right. Just checking stuff on my other platform here. All right, so we're seeing the downward action. I'm not a big fan of taking trades right on the open or right before the open because, you know, we get a lot of fast, quick, erratic moves. But if this short is going to go, it's going to go fast. And if it's not going to go, well, it's going to revert pretty fast. So we have longs come in, piling in. They have been holding this. So far, I am 0 for 2 right now. The short is not working, and we think longs might at least dominate the open. So let's see what we get. We're about 5 minutes from the open, and this one's going to be a fast one. So we will see. What we want to observe today is what I've been mentioning. We are at all-time highs. We are holding this area here. We haven't been able to push down. So the setup I was looking for was, okay, we had a low, we formed a lower high, we pushed, formed a lower low, we had a contraction move here, we broke out of this little trend here, short-term trend, we retested this prior high, we started to push lower. So the thesis was, okay, we've done all, you know, the pattern is there, everything is there, the formation is there. Let's get in short and see if we can continue and go retest this liquidity zone here. But we have been unable to do so far. So looking here at the volume profile, you're going to see that this line here that I have, and maybe I should put it in another color, not in yellow. Let's put it maybe in blue. This line that we have here is the highest area of volume traded. So that's the point of control. What that means is, as this is our inflection point, and that's why I entered short, because we were, you know, below that inflection point. And I thought, okay, we could possibly go target this area of low liquidity here. But since we are right here hovering around this area, the bullish case is also very much possible. Now, what I don't want to see is hesitation throughout the session where we are unable to find direction, right? Of course, this would be great for range traders, mean reversion traders, but we got to move inside here. What I don't want to see is we try to break out, we fake out, and then we move back down, and then we move back inside, we move back inside, and then we kind of stay inside this this range here. That's not what I want to see. So we will see what the price action will tell, how we will develop, and decide what trades we want to take. But the chat is very quiet here. You're being shy this morning, guys. Let me know what you are looking at. Let me know what you want to see. If you have questions, let me know. And also, please let me know where you are watching us from. Okay, so we just got stopped out. We are definitely not seeing the shorts win the fight right now. Longs are really pushing higher. So let's see what we will get once we open. Of course, we are tapping into this area of liquidity here. So this is all. Yeah, we're tapping into an area of liquidity here. So we want to see, okay, on the open, what happens? We will reevaluate and see where we can take our trades. Now, looking on a higher time frame, on an hourly basis, let's go to the hourly chart. So you see the blue line I've been talking about here, our inflection point is holding up pretty well, right? So this might have just been a pullback, and we're gonna go and push higher towards those 26,400 here, and maybe go and break that 26,500 and continue higher. This is entirely possible. So let's see what we get on the open. Can we blast through or not? And we will determine our moves from there. Now, we're going to take a quick look as well at the other assets. We're going to look at the Dow. I know I have some Dow traders here. We're going to look at the YM. And of course, the Russell 2000. So we're about 1 minute from the open. I just want to see what we do on a lower time frame here on the 5 minute and the 1 minute. So we are definitely blasting through these levels. So we're going and reconquering all-time highs. We'll see, can this hold, or is it just the liquidity that gets taken and then we push lower? So far, that's what it's looking like. So that's the area of liquidity I was talking about, where I was saying, okay, we might push lower from here if liquidity gets grabbed and we push lower. So we'll see what we get. We want to keep in mind we have a level of support here. So let's see if we hold that support or not. We will definitely give price some time to develop and show us what it truly wants to do, whether it wants to move sideways, move downwards, or move to the upside. So we'll see. Here, patience. We don't want to FOMO into a trade. We want to enter where it makes sense. We already did 2 attempts. Of course, took very small losses. Controlled losses is what you want. You want to be able to trade another day. You want to be able to survive, because that's what the game is about. You know, if you take your stabs and your losses are half the size of your winners, hey, you'll be profitable. Basically, it is a mathematical certainty. Of course, you need some type of edge in the market. You need a way that statistically over a long period of time shows you that, okay, what you're doing has more potential of profitability than not. All right, very nice. This is so far proving to be short. That is the retest we needed. We thought we were going to get the retest earlier, right? So this is a nice, that is exactly the trade I was looking for earlier today. And we're seeing the profit taking as expected here at the prior low. So that's entirely fine. But definitely what we were looking for. We had this consolidation area. We broke out of it, retested. So here I entered my short thinking that the follow through we had here is what we were going to get a little bit earlier. But I guess the market had to open and show its true side. So we broke higher, took liquidity out, which corresponds to this area here, and then we push lower. Now it is normal to see buying here, profits being taken. If I measure, this is going to probably be between 70 to 100 points. So yeah, about 80 points. So, you know, people capturing this area here, capturing liquidity here. So we're forming the opening range just 2 minutes into this trading session, and we've already moved, you know, almost 100 points, which is great. So it means that we might get a pretty nice range today. So let's see, can we pull back? Can we still hold either below that inflection area or below this this consolidation area and see what we get? Now, for my fair value gap traders, at least on the 1 minute, we have this little FVG here, but of course it is on the 1 minute. So for me, as long as we stay under this, the short is on. So we'll see. We'll give it some time and see what we can get. Of course, if we try to form our range here, the 50% area corresponds to the area below this blue line. So this would be still short for me. And then we'll have multiple targets. Target number 1 is here, and then we have another target that is way below. We might have to take an opening range breakdown trade, but let's see. Let's give it a little bit more time to see what we get. Well, the first 5 minutes of the session haven't passed yet, so we want to be patient and see what we can get. And longs are holding pretty well here. What we don't want to see is we don't want to see it blast through and go up there, at least if you're short biased, because if we blast through, we'll probably get, you know, one type, kind of a break and retest setup. So, whoa, what did I do? Where's my window? There we go. Let's go back to the 1 minute. Yeah, so if we hold for too long here and we're unable to push lower, what we might get, all right, the next 5 minute candle has formed. We are still below this area here, which is looking good. So I might want to start scaling in. Usually I wait for the first 15 minutes, but this might run away from us. So we're just going to let this bar close. We're going to give it 1 more minute, and then we'll try another short, risking these prior highs there. All right, we'll put a limit order and we'll adjust as needed so it doesn't run away from us. And then we could also short as it breaks through the opening range. Now, this would be a quick scalp. So let's see what we get. All right, we're probably going to start scaling in right now. Because this might be our opening range breakdown. Let's see if we can hold these lows, or if instead we're going to revert back to the upside. So what would be nice now is if we could break down, retest the lows of this, and then we would add, or if we revert back up, we just want to remain under this this 50% area. So this blue line is my risk area. And I had another short that I initiated on my other platform that I am holding right now. So we'll see what we get. All right, just keep in mind that we are definitely at the support area. This was Asia's low. So we want to keep that in mind. And then I'm going to take a quick look at the market and market internals. So let's look at how the other assets are doing. We talked about the Dow, so let's look at the Dow, at least on a lower time frame. So the Dow is actually holding up pretty well. We've had some rejection up there, but holding up above VWAP. So far we're seeing the buying. The Russell, okay, moving a little bit sideways, but pushing upwards. Let's look at market internals. So the VIX is at 18, so not super elevated yet. A higher VIX would confirm our short. Advanced decline, we're seeing more assets advancing than declining. The tick chart is ticking downwards, which is good for our short. And the fold ratio is also ticking downwards. So let's see what we get here. But things are somewhat neutral, or okay, so the mag 7 are, some of them are ticking down and some of them are moving sideways. So far the short is still not confirmed. We're still moving downwards, but this is a good sign. You see how we had to move up to this inflection area here, and then we got immediately rejected. That is a good sign. That's what we want to see. I just didn't want it to run away from me, so we entered our first contract here, and then we'll kind of scale in either as it breaks or if we get another retest of this area here. So we're still forming this opening range here. What I want to see is quick follow through. So we might possibly get it. Let's see what we get. All right, I have one person trading the Nasdaq here. Let me know what else you guys are trading. What else are you guys looking at for this Thursday morning? All right, we're getting the pullback here. We want to see, is this legitimate buying? So are we going to revert back to the upside, or are we going to be able to find additional shorts and add to our position? Because so far the thesis is what we are kind of in a neutral zone, honestly. GN Rhoda saying you're on a downtrade on the Nasdaq. Very good. Just keep in mind, we are in a neutral zone, depending on where you entered, because why? We got the rejection here, which is good for shorts, but we are also holding at this level here, right? This is a neutral zone. Why? Because basic technical analysis, this here was our previous area of resistance. So resistance becomes support. We are finding support here. So this area, as long as we remain inside these two levels, so between, I would say the 426, 427s and the 300. So basically this is about a 60-point range. We are still in a neutral zone. So as long as we stay inside here, we are in a neutral zone. We need to break out of here to truly be bullish, and we need to break out of this support to truly be bearish, which looks like what we're getting. I was talking, I didn't have time to add to my short, and I wanted to get it here, but we'll see what we get. Hopefully this can hold, we can sustain it, maybe retest this little level here, and then we can add to our position and move to the short side. Now we've seen, rejection with increase in volume, so we want to see, okay, if this was a store, is it people getting into the store or people walking out of the store with their products? For now, for the shorts, we want people to walk out of the store with their products and not be buying more. So far so good. We're gonna have our first 15 minutes of the range develop, and then based on those highs and lows, we will be able to determine our levels. So far this level is not valid. We'll just move it. And let's see what we get. All right, we are retesting, which is good. And so far we've got, at least for the shorts, what we wanted. We wanted to remain below this blue area here. So I'm adding to my short right now, still risking those prior highs. We got the retest we wanted. We added. And now let's just wait and see what it does. So far, again, we are still in a neutral area, and longs are probably looking for buys here. So as long as we remain below this inflection point, we are okay. Let's just give our volume profile a quick check. Let's go in the 5 minute, 1 second. Let me just put my volume profile here. I just want to see where the volume is happening, because we are in this low volume node here, which might definitely be support. So we're shorting bottoms. Just keep that in mind. We're shorting bottoms, but the thesis is that, okay, we've probably found a top and we need a deeper pullback before we continue higher. We have the weekend coming in. We had the jobless claims, but they did not really affect the market too much. So let's see what we can get. If we can't hold below this blue level, I know I've been, repeating that a lot today, but if we can't hold below this, the bulls are going to win. So my stop is, this is a protective stop. My real stop is around this blue level here. So let's see. Are the bulls going to be able to push this higher, or will we get our down move? This might have been a liquidity sweep and then we're looking to push higher. It's entirely possible. So let's just hold and see. So we have the first 15 minutes of the chart that have developed. So for my opening range breakout traders, this would be your opening range. Let's just mark it here. I usually put this box in pink. Give me 1 second. Why is this not working? All right, so this has been our opening range. From here to here, we've had an opening range of about 100 points. We've tried to push lower. Buyers have been, holding it up. Shorts have been trying to push it lower. So right now we want to stay below, the 50% of this area, which would be right around here, which is where we've seen them try to push it down. We'll put our box in pink. So just like I like to put it. And then our line in the sand is this dotted pink line here. We're seeing increased buying. We're seeing the shorts slowly lose the battle. So let's see what we get. 1 minute into the first 15. Let's look at how our 15-minute chart is looking. So far, they're holding those lows, right? So far, the shorts are losing the battle. So we will do partial stops. Partial stop here, and then the other one is above this prior high here. If we can't push lower, then we're out of the trade and we will reevaluate to take another one. So let's see. Now, of course, it's not just because we break out of there that we automatically go long. we need to we need to break out of there decisively, because again, this area up there is an area of liquidity around the 26,400s. So the short entry might still be there, but if we're able to break out of there decisively and go reconquer the highs, then well, the longs will be on. So far we're short biased. We've shorted the lows, and we'll see what happens. And then it's going to be 10 o'clock in about 10 minutes. So that 10 o'clock candle is going to determine what we get. Now, if you're looking for targets, at least on the short side, what I usually like to use is a measured move. So I will take my opening range box, copy it, and then I will target usually the first 50% area, so around here, and then I will target the lows here for a measured move. So let's see what we get. We need some follow through. So usually this would be my first target, and then the next target would be there. If we are really bearish, then we'll get a couple more standard deviations lower. So let's see. So far the longs have been holding this really well. We haven't been dropping the way I would have wanted for a short. So the short idea is becoming less and less relevant by the minute. So let me just see here. Let's put this on a 5-minute, take a quick look. All right, guys, in the chat, let me know. Well, guys and gals, because I don't know if we have gals in the chat as well. Let me know. What are you looking at? What are you trading? What is going on? All right, so by now we need to see follow through on this. So we're going to adjust our stops and put them exactly where we think we need to be out of the trade. Because at this point now, the price has digested, and we need to see the follow through. So what we're looking for, we've had the push down, we've had the pullback at the 50%, we've had this push down. So I don't necessarily want to continue to see an accumulation there. What I want to see is a further push down and an accumulation maybe lower in this area, and then a follow through. So we want it to kind of stair step down. If we don't get this type of formation, then our short might not be as valid. So let's see what we get. Now, if we're looking for previous levels, so right now we're testing the lows of the previous consolidation. Okay, so far trade is looking good. We're targeting this area here. So I'm targeting the previous consolidation area. We'll see. We don't want to see too much buying too quick, because again, this might be a liquidity sweep. You see how we have increased volume here. So we want to see follow through. Let's see if we can get it. All right, we're seeing the follow through that we want. Let's just see and measure how much of a move this is points wise. is about 139. Right here would be 150. So I expect profit taking to happen. Yeah, we're right before the 300 area. So that is a logical place where people would take profit. So let's see if we can get another push down to take our first partial. And maybe I'll move this up slightly, because I hate when it wicks down and gets really close to my take profit and moves up. These are not, 100% exact levels. These are the 290s, but the 310s, 313 definitely makes sense for profit taking. So let's see if we get it. Move it a little bit closer. Take me out. All right, we got our first take profit. And now, usually I call this the payroll. So we got paid for our trade. We were profitable on the day. And now we're just going to wait and let the asset do what it does. Now, the second take profit is variable. So depending on how the moves happen today, I'll move it around, I'll adjust it. But what we'll wait for is a pullback to, actually, maybe I adjusted this too early. So we'll put this above the last 5-minute candle right there. Okay. So now we have been paid for our trade, and the rest is a total bonus. So we will let the asset move. We'll let it do what it does, and we'll find out. All right, we got T Nana in the house. Always a pleasure to see you. I say that the chat has been awfully quiet today. I guess everybody is printing too much money. So let's see what we get. Anyways, I know GN Rhoda, you were in a trade. If you're still here, if you're still watching, let us know. You were trading the downside of the Nasdaq now. So you must be printing cash. So let me know how it is going on your end. Now, if this is a really, trending day, we will definitely get a large move to the downside. So let me zoom out and let's look at this, from kind of a bird's eye view on a higher time frame. Let me just make this bigger. Let's just go to an hourly chart. So in a few minutes, we're gonna have, let me hide let me just go to this layout. Okay, so if we go to a much higher time frame, this is the hourlies, right? We want to see what kind of reaction we get. Now, the next logical spot where we could target is, of course, well, right now when we look at the ranges, but the next logical spot is here. If we really get, moving and cracking to the downside, this 26,186 area, right? So we will see if we can continue to push down that low. And on an ADR, average daily range, this is 262 points. So it's entirely possible. We've seen bigger days on the Nasdaq. Are we going to push down all the way to the 2600s? Well, I don't know. Not sure. This might just have been the pullback for us to continue to push higher, because overall we are bullish. So this might just be the pullback. And then we do, a small type of pullback to the upper end of this candle here. We've just pulled back to the 26,200, so to 26,278, and then we might find buyers and continue to push to the upside. So let's just see how aggressive this buying becomes. Is it just profit taking, or are we gonna just pull back and do, continue our move lower before we revert to the upside, maybe later on during the day, or maybe right before noon? Let's see what we get. We will be patient. Now, since I'm going to switch to other assets and I don't want to give too much back, we'll just leave this at break even, let it pay for commissions. If it stops out, it stops out, no problem. Let's just switch. So I want to take a look at the ES, see how the ES is doing. Let me reset this here. Just 1 second, guys. All right. Taking the state. Well, I was in another trade on my personal account. So we're looking there. Nice. Good job. Good job. GN Naroda saying he's out with profit. Awesome, man. Awesome job there. Well, I said man. I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but good job there. Good job. Looking good. All right, so we're looking at the ES right now. Very similar formation, very similar pattern to the Nasdaq. Sometimes we would see relative strength on one and relative weakness on the other, but nothing standing out so far on the ES. So let's take a quick look at the YM, so the Dow Jones. So we're looking for the futures contract here. We'll open it on a 5-minute chart. So we had some nice rejection on the YM there, but let's look at something. You see on the YM, and that's why I like to look at different assets. You see how here we had a strong pullback on the Dow, but here we have a pocket of possible support. So that could be an indicator of where we might possibly reverse from, right? So I want you guys to keep that in mind trading today, that, hey, this is not necessarily, the down day where we're going to give back all the profits we've accumulated lately. We are still at all-time highs. So this is just normal profit taking. And look at how well we're holding right now. We're about 1 minute from 10 o'clock. So we definitely want to see what happens at 10 o'clock. Do we get a complete reversal? Are we able to push back up? Are we, on the contrary, just going to go up? So we had, like I said, the setup I was looking for: consolidation, pullback, retest. Well, we retested twice. We caught that liquidity here, and then we pushed lower. We got a retest of the halfway point, which is where I was looking to add. We added, we got that. Now we got our second measured move to the downside right around that halfway point I was talking about. So what we are waiting for right now is, okay, we got to here. Are we going to be able to push lower here to those 26 to 300s? Or on the contrary, are we going to go and retest those levels, or even maybe this inflection point here where we had the high volume node this morning? So possibility number one is, if we are really bearish, well, we're just going to continue pushing down without hesitation. Now it's 10 o'clock. We're seeing here we opened at equal highs here, which is so far okay. So can this be a 3-bar reversal where we push down, we pull back, and then we push lower? We're still above this 50% area. So we'll see what we get. But the possibility is we might go, and if we are, if we're not as bearish, at least on the day, not overall, we might go and retest these prior lows, right, before we move lower. So we might go and retest this before we move lower. We'll see what we get. We'll see how strong it is. But if it's a more bearish day, then we won't go much higher than this area, and we'll see our follow through. So let's see what we could get. Let's just be patient. Like I said, I'm out with profit. I've taken what I call the payroll on the day, and the rest is a bonus. So the bonus is just, it's psychological. It used to be the thing for me where I would be in a trade, I would get out with profit, and then I would regret not holding longer because that thing, did 5x what I thought it was going to do. So over the years, what I've done is I'm like, okay, I'll take however many contracts I'm in. I was just in with 2 contracts today. I take 1 contract off if I'm in with 2 at a logical spot where I think we might reach. I take that payroll, and okay, that means I got paid for the day. I'm green on the day, so we are all good. The rest is extra. It's a bonus. And when you're working, for example, if you're working at a company, it depends. Your bonus is going to depend on your performance, on the company's performance. So sometimes that's, well, most of the time that's out of your control. So it's the same thing applies to trading. You did your work, you got the setup, you entered, and you got the profit. Okay, great. Now I just want to find out, am I going to get my bonus or not? If I get the bonus, great. If I don't get the bonus, well, whatever, right? And of course, here, if we get stopped out and we don't have follow through on the short side, that's totally fine. What we'll do is wait, see if we could find an additional setup that makes sense and take it. But if we don't find any additional setups, then hey, we're done. We did our job for the day. And that, leads me to talk about overtrading. I used to be, I use the word used to be lightly because it'll, bad habits come back sometimes. When you trade like that, it definitely helps you with overtrading because you are able to end the day green and find out, am I going to get that extra or not? Right. And the fact that you are waiting and you're not necessarily doing anything, of course, if you're more experienced, you might want to look at places where you want to add and stuff like that. You could be much more hands-on, or you could be very much hands-off and let the thing do what it's going to do. So by having this mindset, this framework that, okay, I have my payroll, this is my target, I get in, I get out, I get paid for my trade, and then I have this, I have a very fluid target where I can hold, get in, or get out. That allows you to stay in the trade and psychologically helps you find out, okay, should I continue to trade or not? Should I, add to my position or not? Should I, because you basically, that you did your job, right? And that's why a lot of people, are not a fan of moving their stops to break even or whatever, but I'm a big fan of moving stops to break even. Why? Of course, not immediately. You saw how I did it there. I took my trade, added to my position, took the first profit, and only then did I move my stop to break even. Because now I don't want to necessarily give my payroll back, right? I don't mind giving the bonus away, but I don't want to give the payroll back. So it really has helped me psychologically stay in trades much longer and capture, those huge moves that we get sometimes. Like, for example, yesterday we had a huge move and I took these trades both on my Fiverr's account and on my personal account. And at least on the live, we stayed a good while in the trade. And then on my personal account, I held that trade for the whole day. So really having that mindset and framing it in your mind that you're not really focused on P&L. You're focused on risk to reward, risk management. That really helps you avoid overtrading, and it also helps you doing what is very hard in trading, which is holding a profitable trade. To me, holding a profitable trade has been, and more often than not still is, much harder than taking a loss, right? It's hard to be in profit, look at those profits, and you're not sure how long it's going to last or whatever. But when you know that, hey, I got paid for the trade and then the rest is just in the hands of the market, that allows you to hold. And right now we might get stopped out, and that's totally fine. We get stopped out, we will look for another opportunity. Now, like I told you guys, we need to keep in mind that this might have just been a pullback for the bullish trend to continue. So that's what we're trying to find out, right? We pulled back to, at least if we're looking at the range, we pulled back to the 50% of the range. we're moving up higher. You know, buyers have been buying and buying aggressively. We've seen increased volume here on this candle. So it's entirely possible that now, hey, we might go and reconquer those all-time highs because we didn't see follow through on the short side, right? So let's find out. All right, I'm gonna get stopped out right now. Almost. And this might also be a retest for shorts. And if we revert back to the downside, even though the pattern is not really giving me that right now, we'll see. That might be a good idea or a good area to add to your position. So we'll see. You just have to give it a little bit more time. We'll see what happens. Let me just look at the higher time frame for this side by side. Yeah, we're getting a pretty nice green print on the hourlies. So let's see what we get. All right, so we had our rejection candle here, kind of a doji type of candle. If this one is able to engulf the previous one, and then we get a third one that continues to push lower, that might be a possibility for an add and a continued move to the downside. But we're not there yet. We just have to wait and be a little bit more patient. And then the next thing we need to watch out for is if this is not continuation to the downside, right? It might just continue right now. But what we might see is we do get the next candle to be to move lower, right? But we go and we retest this area again, right? If of course we continue to push lower. So we'll see what we get. And if you were gonna add, well, so far it's not showing signs of stopping, and it's showing that we're pushing higher. All right, so we're gonna close the position. As of now, we are turning bullish. So let's see, can we continue to the upside, or is this just a retest for the shorts to re-enter? For my VWAP traders, we're still trading below VWAP. Where's VWAP? Let me get my VWAP out of there. I mean, in there. So here, let's just add VWAP. All right, there we go. That's what I wanted to see. Now, what I want to see is, okay, are we going to be able to retest this area here? And if we want so here again, we are in a neutral area because we are back to our support area. Of course, we are below support. We are retesting support. So it's still 60-40, I would say, until we can really break out of there and reconquer this area. But we are back in kind of that no man's land where, okay, you know, it could go either way. This could be a retest. We move down, we reach the 50%, we push back up. So this could be a retest of this prior consolidation where we'll go short again, right? Or so go short would be we go short, and then we need to watch this and kind of see, okay, are we going to hesitate a little bit and break decisively and go retest this lower level? Or if we're not short, and let me put this in maybe orange, or actually, let me just put it red. And the behavior here is becoming more and more strong, and I'm seeing increased volume. So now if we're not short, what we're possibly gonna do is break out of this consolidation here, go retest this liquidity area that I talked about, right? Pull back, and then we need this to hold and continue higher. And then if we're really, really bullish, right? So this is a second scenario, something like that. But if we're really, really bullish, let me just put this here. What will probably happen is we strongly move and we're able to reconquer these highs decisively, and then we pull back and continue there. So that would be the really bullish scenario, right? But if we get rejection, then it's still on for the shorts. So yep, we're seeing some rejection here right below VWAP. So let's see what we get. Maybe the shorts will win the battle, but this was pretty strong buying. This is steady buying for the last 15 minutes, almost 20 minutes. So let's see. You said, can I put VWAP on the 30-minute? Sure. All right. It looks like the short is back on. So I'm going to start scaling in a second trade, and I'm going to put a wide stop on that one. Because if this is short, you know, we could add higher. As long as we're below the blue line, for me, we're bearish. So we'll see. I'm going to start scaling in right there. All right. And GN Rhoda said put it on a 30-minute. All right. We got VWAP on a 30-minute. Let me put it there so you could see. This is VWAP on a 30-minute, and the VWAP I have here is 26,381, more or less. That's where we reacted, and it corresponds to that previous resistance area there. Now, the thing to be conscious of is my VWAP is anchored to the start of the day, so you might have a different value depending on where you anchor it from. Now, I have anchored VWAP. Hey, we got Tay Keith in the house. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're printing green today. I hope you caught the short. We caught it a little bit earlier, and we're seeing if we could get a second leg. So let's see. But we're, again, like I mentioned, in a neutral area, so we'll see. So I remember we took that trade together. I held the second trade and got the second standard deviation on this account. So yeah, I held that one, and then I took it also on my personal account, and that one I held all day. So it was a great day. Yesterday was a great day, both on this eval we're doing for the fivers and on my other account. So yep, we had a great day yesterday, and let's see if we can get one today, but on the downside, on the other side. I hope you held as well, if you were long, by the way. Yeah, I was talking about anchored VWAP. You know, you could anchor your VWAP here. Let me put this in. We'll keep the VWAP in yellow, I guess, and fix the settings. I like to use, so here I would use the high. If we use the high, it will give us a similar number to that, and then you can use the low. Let's apply. So here it would act as support. So it all depends on how you want to see it. Usually I'll do the open, high, low, close divided by 4. And that puts us right there where we are. So we are behaving the way I want to behave. So let's just add again. And then we're going to adjust our stop at around this wick right there. Now, this, like I was saying, might just be a pullback to this area, and we form a, you know, kind of a double bottom, and we revert to the upside. But it might also be a continuation of our short. So we will see what we get. I liked that rejection. It was sharp and fast. So I like that for our short. So we'll see what we get, if we can actually get follow through to the downside. And let me just adjust the position. Let me put these two together. So by the way, on Black Arrow, if you put two stops together, it becomes one. So we're seeing some buying here. What I'm going to do is take some quick profit for the scalp right as we get around this pocket. So we're out one, and then like I said, we take the payroll and then we leave the bonus. So second trade of the day, we took it right at this pocket, and now we go back and target our, as usual, standard deviations if they come about, because again, this area could develop into a new area of support, and we're seeing, you know, rapid buying here. So let's go on a lower time frame. Let me put them side by side. I like to have multiple time frames side by side. Just put this on a 1 minute. You see, we got the reaction I was expecting, which is rapid covering here of the positions. So if we don't get follow through here, well, this was just a possible long entry. But if we do get the follow through, then the short is on. So now I've been managing the risk a little bit more tightly. On the 1 hour, we're looking good. We're looking bearish, so I like that. So let's see what we get. Can we get the follow through or not? All right, so far looking good. That's the follow through we want to see. So possible targets again are this mid-range where we were before, or all the way down here to the low of that previous standard deviation. So let's see if we can get it. Take Heath said he held. Nice, 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 nice. Well, I owe you a round of applause, man. There you go. That's for you. That's for you for holding that trade, printing that cash. Nice. I like it. I love to hear it. All right. So we are in our second position for the day right now. We got what we were talking about, which was, you know, the breakdown, the pullback. This is a very, very good VWAP short setup. So we just want that follow through. So as we move down, we want this to increase in speed as we reconquer this consolidation area so that it doesn't act as support. So what do we want to see? We want to see our candles getting bigger, maybe testing those prior lows, and then the next candle kind of getting wider and expanding. Maybe we'll see some profit taking around here. So that would be good for our short. But unfortunately, that's not what we're getting. We're getting some buying as I expected here. So let's see if we can get the follow through. Let me just adjust the stop here. I don't want to get stopped out too quickly. So, all right, risking just 10 points. But yeah, the buying is getting aggressive. Maybe they want to hold this and shoot it up. So I'll give it one more candle. If the next one can push down, we'll hold. If not, I'll just close the trade. Let's see, what time is it? 10:21. All right, we're not near an hour, but they've been buying. They've been trying to hold this up and go check those all-time highs again. So this is the opposite of what we want to see for the short. Oh, yeah. 10 points. Yeah, 10 points. So we're at the 335s. So if we can't get that follow through, then this is the perfect long entry. So let's see if we get it. Let us see. Let us see. What have you been trading today, Tay Keith? You trading the Nasdaq or trading something else? Let me know. Let's take a quick look at the Dow while this continues to develop. Actually, where's the Dow? Because I think the Dow is kind of a leading indicator for what might happen. All right, looking good here on the Dow. Yeah, we are at that pocket here on the Dow. So that is a good reference to know, are we going to be able to revert from that or not? And that could be our leading indicator into are we bullish or not? I haven't looked at the Russell, so I'm going to switch really quick to here. Google moving down. Let's look at the Russell really quick. All right, Russell pushing lower, which I like for our short. Is the dollar. The dollar is definitely pushing higher, so hopefully we get follow through and maybe we go target these 98.2s again for, you know, follow through on our short. So let us see. All right, so far so good. We need more expansion on that. Because this is, you know, what we don't want to see is for this to kind of form kind of a lower what do you call those curved patterns? A cup and handle, you know, kind of a cup and handle pattern. We don't want that. What we want is follow through to the downside. So, you know, push down and continued push up. But the bulls are fighting, man. The bulls are trying to hold this. The bulls are trying to hold. So let me look on the 15, what we're looking at. Yeah, they're definitely trying to hold this. Let's see if the bulls win or not. Come on, guys, push it lower. I'd rather they do a liquidity sweep here, but trying to hold those 330s. Let me do one contract off. This way we're only risking a very small part. Yep. It's like they heard me. Whoa, what is this? This is breaking news. All right, let me see if we got some news because this is an interesting print right there. And that is why you always have a stop, guys. You always have something keeping you protected. Let's see what we got here. This is not a usual or normal print. So let's see. This looks like news coming in the market. Pakistani Foreign Ministry. No, that was 13 minutes ago. That's not valid. Let me know if you guys see any news here. because that was a bizarre candle. Unless it was a large order, since I'm not watching the order flow, I can't see. But we might be turning bullish right now. You see, I was telling you about, kind of this cupping pattern here. So will this be the long opportunity where we completely revert to the upside and go conquer those all-time highs, or was this just intimidation and we won't be able to happen? But so far, by the way they've been, holding the market up, I think right now the probabilities are getting, less and less. It's getting less and less probable for us to continue lower and more probable for us to continue to the upside. So we'll see what happens. We definitely, that was an interesting print there. So we might continue to the upside. So I'm not taking a long on this one, but I have just taken a long on my personal account, risking those lows. So we'll see what we get. This is the position and targeting at least these highs. So let's see what we get. I'm trading with bigger size on the other account, so it allows me to risk a little bit more. So let's see. Let's see if this was real or if this was a fake print. Let me know, guys. Let me know in the chat. I got Tay Keith in the house. Who had his diamond hands on yesterday? I haven't taken a look at oil. I'm going to check out oil in a sec. Because if equities are moving up, then oil might be pushing lower. So let's see. Or was this just was this the actual short setup where we're going to get follow through for the rest of the day? We will see. All right, let me check out oil real quick right now. Let's look at CL. Oil pushing up. Sorry, I said pushing down. Oil has been pushing up. Look at this. Oh wow, and this is a very nice setup. We've set up a base here. So we had a setup for the short, and then if you reverse this upside down, that is exactly what is happening right there. So we've formed this range here, this accumulation, like this, like so, right? This accumulation right there, and then we have kind of a top here. So let me just put this line here. We have a top here. So what is super interesting is we are breaking out of it. Now, if we can get this break and then a retest, man, it is on. That means that we're probably going to go retest those 97s, and possibly if we form a very, bullish structure, we will get a retest of those 100s, at least in the coming days. I'm not talking about immediately today, but this might be an interesting one. Let's go back. Okay, so we're moving up ever so slightly here. That was a nasty wick. This might be our double top. Let's see what we get. Now, what we need to be conscious of, remember I talked about sideways price action. Today might turn into one of those days where we're now unable to find direction and we continue to just test highs, test lows, test highs, retest lows until we really find a direction. So keep that in mind. But if we are able to break decisively to the upside, then the bullish formation is on. Right now we have gone from red to green, at least on the daily side. So the longs might be timid, but the shorts might gradually be stepping out of their positions. Let me look at the Dow. In just 1 second, guys. Yeah, it looks like the long might be on. So let's try a small position there. See if we could reconquer this this VWAP and squeeze those shorts out. All right, now of course we have many levels to reconquer. So this one, if it does work out, we might have to be patient on, but we do have, you know, this whole area to reconquer here. And then we have this whole area to reconquer. So it would mean a move up to here. And then once, if we do break decisively out of this area, you know, kind of go higher, pull back and go retest those highs, then it's really on. So we'll see what we get. But if we can't get that follow through, then we're not there yet. But so far, the longs are looking good. We kind of entered late. The opportunity was probably around here, which I did enter on my personal account. So we'll hold here. We'll actually, if it's long, it shouldn't even retest this candle here. It should move fast and get kind of a V-shaped recovery. So we'll see. All right, let's put this here. Got a 1 minute chart here, and then let me put my 5 on the side. So let's see if we get follow through, or if this is gonna act as resistance again, because that's entirely possible. Remember, we're not truly bullish until we reconquer that inflection point. So until we reconquer this blue line here, in my opinion, we're not confirmed bullish yet. But due to the fact that we pushed down, we formed the first low, we pushed up, we formed a second higher low, at least for the time being, the structure is slowly inching to the upside. So let's see what we get. Can we get follow through to the upside or not? I think since we are in an area of previous consolidation, it's probably going to take some time. So we were bearish, but now I have flipped bullish. Let's see, can we hold, can we move or not? A little bit of a late entry for me, but at least here, but we'll see what we get. You said if it doesn't respect the 5 minute bearish opening breakout, you'll go long. Okay. 5 minute bearish opening breakout. So let me go on the 5 minute. Let's look. So we have, this is the opening range, this pink box there. Are you talking about, let me move this up. Are you talking about going long once it reconquers this area or not? I'm not sure I'm catching what you're referencing to there. Just, keep in mind, I'm long already, but we need to keep certain things in mind. First of all, we have VWAP. We're at VWAP. So this might be, again, another turning point because we turned from here in this morning and we turned from here this morning and we're right below this 50% area. So this might be a turning point for this to turn bearish again, right? That's number one. Number two, we are below the point of control that we had this morning. So this, even if we push higher, this might be another area where, shorts might re-enter the chat, like they say, and we might look to push lower again. Finally, if we're able to reconquer these highs and this point of control here, and we're seeing, the shorts are really trying to push this lower right now. The way I'm seeing the candles move, even though I can't look at the prints, on the 1 minute, there's probably a lot of red candles right now. So the other thing is, can we push towards this? So we'll see what we get. Now, if something to keep in mind, if they're not able to push this lower, we'll probably get a short squeeze. So we'll see, because if this is early shorts getting in, wanting to push it lower, but we have all the FOMO longs that came late to the game and want to push this higher and they win, the shorts will have to, tap out of their positions and they will get squeezed out. So if, of course, the long play plays out. So we'll see. Let me just look at this on a higher time frame just to see where we're at. Okay, so we're in that area where we had we're in the previous resistance area here. So we'll see. We'll see. The bullish case for me, at least for now, until the price really shows what it wants to do, is we push lower, but it was a very shallow push for me, right? From the Nasdaq's perspective, because we moved down 169 points. If we were very bearish, at least in the morning, I think we would have pushed lower, at least 200 plus. But again, anything can happen, so we'll see. On the 30-minute, it looks like it is on a downtrend. Well, yeah, it is entirely possible. What I'm saying is we just need to watch out. Of course, we are, let me go to the 30-minute. Of course, we still, in the structure, we had this huge red candle. We are below these levels. So far, like I said, as long as we are under the blue line, we are bearish. If we are able to reconquer this, then we are bullish. But right now, I'm holding to see, because I think maybe we might need to retest these levels before we revert down. But I might be wrong. So we'll see. So far, the shorts are winning, at least on the lower time frames. So let's see what we get. We'll see if the longs can win the fight or if the shorts will re-enter the chat. This candle here, this print was kind of interesting to me. So I just want to see what happens there. Right now, I'm kind of neutral. So I went from bearish to neutral. But we might go back to the bearish scenario if it does make sense. All right. So the question now is, are we able to break above VWAP or not? If we're not able to break above VWAP and hold, then it's highly likely that the short is back on. Let's see. Let's see what we can get. Right now, we're seeing the fight between the bulls and the shorts. All right, we're seeing aggressive buying right now. Do we get follow through? So right now, so we're seeing aggressive buying. You want to look at the volume and see, okay, is the volume increasing as this is pushing up? So, so far, volume's increasing slightly. And of course, we need to hold the high. So we need to engulf all this right now and then maybe open around here a little bit higher at the next candle. We got 13 seconds left on this one. So let's see what we get. Can we push higher? Let me look at this on a 5-minute real quick. All right. I'm going to continue to control the risk on this because if we are bullish, it's going to move up fast. But if we are bearish, we're going to see rejection, and we're just gradually managing this. So we're kind of almost here at the inflection point. So let's see if we can reconquer this or not. But the bears, I could see here by the movement of the candle that they're really trying to push this lower. So we formed a low. If we are bullish, we should respect this low. Just like we respected this low, we moved here, we pulled back. Now we should respect this low. If we're unable to respect it, then we might revert lower. Let's see. Takey saying we might retest the 5-minute order block if it breaks through the point of control. Yeah, definitely. That's why I was mentioning there are a lot of levels to reconquer here for the bullish side. You know, we have this morning. I was mentioning that at least here we have, for those who use fair value gaps, we definitely have here a fair value gap all around here, which is smack dab almost in the middle of this blue line here, right? So if we're not here, if we see hesitation, the reversal might happen. But if not, if the buyers get aggressive, then we'll probably blast through this area. So we'll see what we get. We're managing slowly. I'm gonna manage this with 2-minute bars. So right now the trade is back in profit. I mean, it has been in profit most of the time. And now we are at a point of control. So let's see, can we blast through this? Right? Can we really reconquer this? We've seen the increase in volume. So now are the shorts going to re-enter and defend it or not? Let's see what we get. I'm just managing the other long that I had going on. I took a little bit, I took the entry a little bit lower. So I was in from around, let's say, these levels. So now, can we defend this level? You see, this reaction is expected. They're trying to push it down at the point of control. Is it still the point of control? Let's see. It's a little bit hard to see here. Let's put this on. The point of control actually has shifted from where it was this morning to lower here to 26,368, at least on my volume profile from where it's anchored. So far, you know, the bulls are winning the fight. And Tay Keith was saying we might retest the 5-minute order block if it breaks through the point of control. We're looking to break here at the previous point of control. Let's see if we get that. We are retesting this this liquidity area here. So far so good for the longs. And if we are really able to break out of here and break out decisively, we're looking at, you know, the 24,400s as a first level, the 24,460s, then finally the 24,480s, or even 24,500. So let's see. And then again, you know, we can't discount, at least on the longer time frame. We got this move here. We're scalping, so we're holding very small. We're looking for a very small move, but this might break out, you know, pull back and then continue upwards. But it also might move sideways for a while inside of this neutral zone. It might go here, move sideways inside of here, and continue up. So there's different scenarios. Let's do the 3 cases as usual. Let's do the bullish case first, since we just did it. So we're looking at multiple scenarios, breaking out of this neutral zone. Maybe we hesitate here a little bit. We break out, we retest, and then we go reconquer higher highs. This is the bullish case. We'll put it green. And then we have the second scenario, which would be kind of the neutral case, where we're unable to break out of here really, and then we kind of go retest here, and then we retest these lows, and then we go lower and we retest here, and we kind of don't really find a direction right throughout the day. So that would be the neutral scenario. And then the bearish scenario is, well, we just wick out of here. The shorts come back into action, and then, you know, we go retest lower levels, pull back, and then just go and form a bearish structure. So if I was a betting man, I would say this is probably the least likely scenario, because if we were really short, we probably would have followed through this morning. And then we have the neutral, and I think the more likely scenario right now, and since we're just slowly grinding up, the more likely scenario is the bullish scenario, right? So we'll see what we get. We are definitely pulling back as expected from this this higher high. I actually don't want to get stopped out, so let me just adjust this stop right now, because I think we might follow through to the upside. So what I'm gonna do is risk, okay, so let's risk half of our, I should be risking here. Yeah, because I want to give this room to really run, even if we get pullbacks and whatever. This has probably turned into an all-day hold like yesterday. So let's see. Tay Keith saying, to be honest, it doesn't look good for shorts. I agree with you there. I mean, we didn't get the follow through that shorts would have needed this morning for a confirmation, right? We had first impulse pullback, second impulse, and if we were going to really follow through, so if we're saying shorts, we have, let me just get this out of the way. Yeah, so we had, for shorts at least, the first impulse pullback, second impulse. This pullback should have been more shallow, maybe to the 50% here, and that's what we were hoping for. And then we would have had another impulse there, and then probably somewhat of a sideways consolidation here, and then a follow through to the downside if we were really, really bearish. But the profit taking has not been as aggressive as one would have thought. And right now, man, we are recovering. We're recovering nicely. We're moving to the upside, and you know, the next level to watch is right where we're at right now, where we might revert from. I had this level from this morning here. This is where they sold it previously, which is about 423. So let's see what we get here. Are they able to hold it, stay above VWAP? We'll see. We'll see. But right now, like I was saying this morning, we are in a neutral zone. As long as we stay here, you know, inside of this support level, which was the Asia low, and we stay below here, we are in a neutral zone until we can really find direction. So maybe this is a pullback and we'll go back to the upside. If we are able to hold, I'll probably add to my position. So we'll see. We will see. All right, 7 minutes to go on the stream, guys. Let me know. Let me take a look at some other assets really quick. Let's look at the Dow. So the Dow, you remember this morning I was talking about this pocket, and this pocket would tell us, well, this pocket held, right? We got into this previous area of support, and so far it held. So is it gonna move and do the same as what it did throughout the previous session here, and continue? Well, the Dow is giving us a sign of holding. And then in terms of, so the Dow was relatively weak this morning and is holding. Now we had the Nasdaq be a little bit stronger, right? Because we pulled back, it was a little bit stronger and showing follow through. So right now the longs are winning the fight, at least in the short term. So let's see what we can get. But again, we are still in a neutral zone. So the longs are not 100% confirmed, in my opinion, until we can break out of here, pull back, and continue, right? Until we can get this formation, it's not confirmed. Or another way we could see it is we pull back, stay inside of here, form the bullish structure, maybe some type of little wedge here, and then break out of there. So until this happens, we're not yet confirmed. So it's either going to be a sharp breakout, immediate move up there, reconquer those highs, or maybe a sideways consolidation here. If we get the sideways consolidation, I'll probably add. If we don't get it and we get a straight break, well, I won't have time because I'm not going to chase. So we'll see. And I probably need 2 tests of a VWAP. So to add to this position, I would need to see, okay, we got here, we retested VWAP, we retested this higher high, we're making a lower high here, and then we're moving up. So maybe kind of those, W bottoms here, and then we move up. And then a third add is we pull back here and we move up like that. So that's the structure I would need to see to be able to add, and a slow move to the upside, just like we had yesterday. But if we don't get that, then we're not adding to this position, because we need to manage the risk in case that this turns into a short follow through, because we're seeing selling right at the same area we started selling this morning. So let's wait and see. All right, sharp move to the downside right now. Good reason why I moved the stop and adjusted. So maybe the shorts have re-entered. Let's see what we get. Let's look at this on a slower time frame. And the fact that we're getting these huge, these big wicks here is telling me that big money is playing around. Big money is definitely playing around with the market right now. Because to make these huge moves, you need big orders to come through. So we saw at around the same area this morning. Where did we see it, guys? We saw it right around here at those 26,400s. And it's the same area around 26,400 that we just saw this move. But what happened after this one is, yeah, we moved down, but we were bought right back up. And here, same thing, huge move, and then we're bought right back up. And well, fortunately, my stop, I had a good idea to adjust the stop and to kind of transform this short-term, how do I call it, scalp into a longer-term hold. And that's why I adjusted the stop, willing to risk 1R more or less. Because this might be an all-day hold, just like yesterday. But we'll see. We'll need follow through. So we'll see what we get. All right, guys, let me know how you doing today. Are you green? Are you learning? I don't like to say, are you red? We're either green or we are learning. I hope you enjoyed the session today. We got some quick wins, relatively. We are trading very controlled. We're waiting for setups to come in. And so far, so good. We want to find out, are we going to be able to reconquer those all-time highs on the indexes? The ES is trading at that critical $7,000 level. Will it be pushed down like it has been in the past? Or will we be able to reconquer it? We'll see. So the ES showing relative weakness in comparison to the Nasdaq. So the ES is slightly weaker than the NQ. We have the Dow that is much weaker than both. Let me check the Russell real quick. Russell. All right, Russell holding above the Asian, well, yesterday's session, but below the Asian session lows. So that's not a great sign. YM, similar scenario. ES, kind of holding. And the Qs so far showing more strength out of all the assets. So tech is kind of what's holding us up right now. Let's see if we can really push up sharply or not. Tay keeps saying he's learning at the moment. Hey, it's part of the game, man. You win or you learn, right? It's always like that. Win or learn. And I'm learning, well, I'm winning right now, but I'm learning with you guys in real time, you know, so all good there. All right, let me just look at what's happening on the lower time frames. So we've formed a little bit of a bearish structure right under this resistance level and right under that critical area that I've been talking about all day this morning, this blue line here. So this is our line in the sand. You know, we're trying to get out of it, and hopefully we can for the longs, for whoever's long, like me, I'm long. And since we're trying to break out of here, and this was our wick, now I have the indication that, okay, this is now my correct area to if I would want to go break even, I could put my stop right there. So we're gonna let this cook, like the young guys say today, and it is 11 o'clock, so it is time for me to end the stream. But it has been a great one today. We got a couple of wins on the short side, and we got so far a win on the long side. So a great way to start the day. I hope you a great rest of your day or evening, and I will see you in the markets next week, same place, same time. Take care, guys.